This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Let's also talk about the first match here on the card. The rivalry for this one actually began at the last In Your House show. There we saw Ahmed Johnson make short work of your boy, the Nature Boy, Buddy Landell. But then he's attacked by Jerry Lawler and a returning Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett hits Ahmed literally in the face with a chair, which looked brutal. And now we've got a match. It's Ahmed Johnson and Jeff Jarrett. They're going to go 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Ahmed gets the win by DQ. Meltzer would say Johnson is really green, and the transitions from spot to spot were weak. I had the pleasure of watching wrestling once with Sean Waltman, and he was explaining to me that what made a great wrestler wasn't necessarily doing the moves. It's all the stuff in between the moves. Right, Bruce?
It depends. Yeah, it really depends on, but you have to, Pat Patterson, everybody talks about Pat Patterson being this great mind for the business, coming up with terrific finishes. What made Pat Patterson so great to me is Pat didn't just think about the finish. Pat would lay out a finish and lay everything out for you. And then he would ask you what some people would consider a simple question. But one of the most difficult questions in reality is, what are you going to do to get there? What do you do before you go into the finish? Which a lot of times guys, we'll get there. But getting into it is as important as it. You have a beginning, you have a middle, and an end. And a lot of guys disregard the middle. A lot of guys disregard the start of a match and only think, here we go. Well, we've got the finish. Pat was beautiful in being able to help guys do that transition from the body of the match, how you go now, what's that transition into the finish, and make it all make sense. So that's what made a beautiful worker to me.
Let's talk about the match itself here with Ahmed.
Do we have to?
Yeah. Listen, it's not bad. Come on now. I think the match is kind of okay because you get to see some interesting stuff. Ahmed jumps over the top rope, crashes into the guardrail. He does a full somersault splash off the top rope and misses. Eventually the finish comes when Jarrett comes in with a guitar and comes off the top rope and smashes it over Ahmed's head. Of course, that's the DQ, but the guitar shot sounds great. And Ahmed just kneels over from the shot, which is pretty impressive. They're just trying to put over how dominant he is. But Meltzer would say Jarrett tried to carry it, but it's hard when nobody buys Johnson being in trouble because he's so physically impressive and he doesn't know how to sell to overcome his impressive size. But you really did sort of get Ahmed Johnson over here as a monster. So I say mission accomplished. What'd you think?
Well, I didn't think it was great. I just thought that it was okay in that it's so hard in any time that you only have one guy in the ring that's really working to make a match. And it becomes obvious that Jeff was trying so hard to get this guy over, and then it was what it was. And that's true. Ahmed was so impressive. It was difficult for anyone to ever feel sorry for him in any way. So it made it more difficult to get heat on the guy. And Jeff's working all around him, trying everything that he can, but you can only do so much. I think that in a lot of ways, Ahmed made it very difficult. Tony Atlas was a big guy, and Tony could make you feel and could sell in a way that was believable, that the audience wanted to help Tony, man. They wanted to be there for Tony. And Ahmed, it was almost like, he's got it. If he doesn't, well, he should. Look at this son of a bitch. He doesn't sell anything else. So and again, I'm being really, really critical of it. I just, I thought it was one guy in the ring working his ass off and the other guy just doing a bunch of shit to let everybody know that he was Superman.
Well, it just feels like that's the way it was supposed to happen. I guess if these guys just called it in the ring and did their own thing, maybe that's different, but I just assumed that somebody said, okay, here's what we're doing. Ahmed Johnson's a pretty polarizing figure. Recently, JR revealed that nobody in the locker room liked working with Ahmed. He didn't exactly have the respect of his peers. Would you agree with that?
I would agree that, yeah, I don't know about respect, but they didn't like working with him.
Yeah.
Because he was stiff. And I think that Ahmed also had a bit of an attitude and a feeling that he was already over and should have been the top guy without ever having come in and done the work and gotten to the point where the audience got him over and the audience wanted him to be the top guy. So while we wanted him to be a top guy and we wanted him, quite possibly, if he could get there, be the top guy, I don't know that he ever reached it, but in Ahmed's mind, he was already there.
What do you think of the dive over the top rope? He crashes and burns. It's pretty scary looking. It's a lot like the Undertaker at WrestleMania when he went over the top rope and just went straight down. This shows me that Ahmed is not just reckless with everybody else. He just doesn't know yet what he can or can't do. It's like, what's that saying in the group chat? He doesn't know how strong he is, right?
Not a clue.
Yeah.
And we just call that cock strong.
Yeah.
Because he just was so fucking strong that he would catapult himself. And look, Ahmed didn't discriminate. He would hurt himself as much as he would hurt other people.
Let's talk about that for a minute. I know, or I shouldn't say I know. I think I've heard that Bill Watts was really high on him. Was Vince as high on Ahmed that he think he had as much of an upside, or maybe not so much?
Look, we were all high on Ahmed. We all thought that there was a lot of potential there and that we could get there with Ahmed, but you needed the commitment from Ahmed to do whatever it took to get to that place. And I don't know that we were really seeing that commitment from Ahmed. Look, we all wanted him to make it. Good Lord, man. He had charisma and a look that doesn't grow on trees, but there was an unspoken animal charisma about Ahmed Johnson that you looked at him and, brother, you believed.
Yeah.
And that was something you can't teach.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.